That's exactly what happened with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills icons, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky. To the world, they were the couple who made it. The couple that survived reality TV. The couple who laughed together, raised a family together, and built an empire together. But beneath the sparkle of Beverly Hills diamonds, something else was forming. A growing silence, a subtle distance. A truth neither was ready to face until everything changed. Today, we're taking you inside the raw, honest, and quietly heartbreaking journey of Kyle and Mauricio. A story that reveals a side of their marriage that fans never got to see on Bravo. Stick around, because by the end of this video, your entire perspective on love, partnership, and what it really means to grow with someone, or away from them, may look completely different. Chapter 1. The moment everything shifted. It didn't happen during a major fight. Not during a reunion. Not during a dramatic cast trip to Aspen. It happened in a much quieter moment. On a recent episode of The Agency Redefined, Mauricio sat down for what was supposed to be a light interview about business growth, real estate, and family life. But something in him shifted. Just like Mark Consuelo's in that morning show moment you referenced, Mauricio's usual relaxed charm faded for a brief second. His shoulders straightened, his jaw tightened. He took a deep breath, the kind someone takes before opening a door they've been avoiding for years. And then he said something no one expected. I spent years trying to prove myself, even in my own home. The room fell silent. The interviewer froze. Even the crew behind the camera stopped moving. Mauricio didn't crack a joke. He didn't soften the moment. He didn't laugh it off. He just kept going. Success doesn't fix everything. Sometimes it magnifies the parts of you that already hurt. It was the first time viewers had ever seen Mauricio drop the CEO armor and speak as a husband who felt, for the first time, truly vulnerable. But to understand why this moment mattered so much, we have to go back. Back to the beginning, before the RHOBH fame, before the agency, before Beverly Hills. Chapter 2. The man behind the smile. Mauricio's story didn't begin in luxury. It began with grit. Born in Mexico City, raised with a deep sense of family and tradition, Mauricio grew up watching his parents push through challenges with determination, discipline, and quiet resilience. It wasn't fame he inherited, it was work ethic. When he met Kyle Richards in the early 90s, he was immediately drawn to her energy, her confidence, and that famous Richards sparkle that seemed to light up any room she walked into. They married young. They built their life quickly. They raised 4 daughters, each with their own personalities, dreams, and strong opinions. But as Kyle's fame grew, as she became the face of RHOBH, as she became a best-selling author, TV host, producer, fitness figure, and beloved Bravo personality, Mauricio found himself asking questions he never said out loud. Am I enough? Do people take me seriously, or am I just Kyle's husband? Does the world see what I bring to the table? This wasn't jealousy. This wasn't rivalry. This was something much quieter and much more human. Sometimes, when you love someone who shines brightly, you worry people won't notice the light you've worked so hard to create for yourself. Chapter 3. The pressure of Beverly Hills. Being a couple in Beverly Hills is one thing. Being a couple in Beverly Hills on camera is something else entirely. With every season of RHOBH, the pressure grew. Asterisk the headlines, asterisk the rumors, asterisk the fan theories, asterisk the constant judgment, asterisk the microscope on even the smallest changes in behavior. If Kyle didn't wear her ring one day, trending topic. If Mauricio didn't make a cameo, more trending topics. If they weren't posting couple photos, you guessed it, trending all over again. Every smile was analyzed. Every silence dissected. Every awkward moment replayed millions of times on TikTok. And somewhere in that world of glittering pressure, Mauricio's small insecurity, the one he never talked about, quietly grew. He once said in an interview, "Sometimes I felt like people forgot I had my own identity. They saw Kyle, and then they saw the guy standing next to her." That kind of emotional weight doesn't break a marriage overnight. It erodes it slowly. Chapter 4. The Day the Silence Bureau Key. On that recent filming day, the one where Mauricio opened up, something unexpected happened. Kyle wasn't there physically, but she later watched the clip online. And what happened next was the emotional moment that fans didn't see. Kyle Richards didn't roll her eyes. She didn't brush it off. She didn't laugh the way she often does to soften heavy moments. She just sat, quietly. Her eyes welled up, not with drama, not with anger, but with recognition. Because for the first time, she heard something she never knew he felt. Kyle has always been the protector, the fixer, the emotional center of her family. But she didn't realize that in protecting everyone else, she had missed the quiet hurt right beside her. In private, Kyle later said, "I didn't know he was carrying that alone." And for her, that silence, that moment of realizing she hadn't seen it, hit harder than any tabloid headline ever could. Chapter 5. How a marriage changes without you noticing. Marriage doesn't fall apart dramatically the way reality TV shows like to portray. More often, it softens at the edges first. Asterisk fewer shared laughs. Asterisk shorter conversations. Asterisk longer work hours. Asterisk I'm fine becoming the go-to response. Asterisk two people living parallel lives instead of one connected one. Kyle was evolving, new friends, new lifestyle changes, new routines. Mauricio was evolving too, expanding the agency globally, mentoring agents, hosting events. Both were growing, but not necessarily together. And that's where the real heartbreak quietly begins. Not in the arguments, but in the distance. Chapter 6. The moment they finally spoke. Behind closed doors, Kyle and Mauricio had a long overdue conversation. Not for cameras, not for ratings, not for interviews, just the two of them. It was raw. It was honest. It was painful. Mauricio finally said the sentence he had rehearsed silently for years. "I needed you to see me, not just the man standing next to you." Kyle took a long breath. For the first time, she didn't try to fix it. She didn't try to explain it away. She listened. And in that moment, she did the one thing Mauricio had wanted all along. She saw him. Chapter 7. What it means for their future. Are they still on complicated terms? Yes. Are they still figuring out what this next chapter looks like? Absolutely. But something changed after that conversation. Not the marriage, that's still its own ongoing story, but the understanding between them. Because sometimes what breaks a marriage isn't the conflict. It's the silence, and sometimes what saves a relationship, or at least makes peace with it, is simply feeling heard. Kyle and Mauricio may not return to the couple they once were, but their story isn't just about the end of a marriage. It's about two people who loved each other deeply, built a life together beautifully, and finally understood each other honestly. Even if the truth came late. Outro. So FT Music Fade is in. Kyle and Mauricio's journey isn't just gossip. It's not just reality TV canon. It's a reminder that asterisk the strongest relationships can hide the quietest pain. Asterisk success doesn't erase insecurity. Asterisk and sometimes love doesn't end. It just changes shape. Thank you for watching. If you felt connected to this deeper side of their story, let me know in the comments. The pressure of Beverly Hills, Untold. With every season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the expectations on Kyle and Mauricio grew heavier. Fans adored them as the stable marriage of the franchise. Castmates pointed to them as the example. Bravo cameras captured their date nights, their inside jokes, their shared glances at chaotic dinner parties. But behind the scenes, Mauricio later admitted something surprising. When people label you the perfect couple, it becomes harder to say when something's off. He didn't want to let Kyle down. He didn't want to let their daughters down. But most of all, he didn't want to disappoint the version of themselves the world believed in. Kyle felt it too, the weight of being the Richards sister who was holding everything together. The mom who'd never cracked. The wife who always smiled. Yet the truth was much more complicated. Their careers were pulling them in different directions. Their schedules stopped lining up. And the quiet conversations they used to have at the end of long days slowly faded into silence. Not because they stopped caring, but because sometimes life becomes so fast that even love can get lost in the noise. Chapter 4. The Unseen Distancy. Friends noticed it before they did. During Season 12, Kyle mentioned being stressed. Mauricio talked about work constantly. They seemed supportive of each other, but not always connected. And it wasn't drama. It wasn't betrayal. It wasn't anything explosive. It was something much simpler. Distance. The kind that creeps in quietly like a shadow. The kind you don't notice until one day you look up and realize you're both standing in different rooms, living different lives on different emotional timelines. Kyle was evolving. So was Mauricio. And sometimes growth unites people. Other times, it challenges them to renegotiate the relationship entirely. For the first time, Mauricio admitted publicly,